about next game, which is Bifrost versus Singularity. So you've been talking about text returns, text returns. I'm going to do you dirty.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I need you to explain to me how Singularity can win versus Bifrost.
Oh, go ahead.
You want to do it?
I have a story.
Oh.
Okay. Wait.
So I'm looking at this roster. I'm coming through. I'm looking at the mid lane. I'm like, I've never heard about you in my life, okay? And I look into you. I message players on Singularity, and I'm asking, who is this guy? Is this someone you scouted in solo queue? Where does he come from? And they gave me a fairy tale that they're telling themselves at the moment. Basically, it goes that they call him Pigeon because his name is very close to Pigeon in terms of how you pronounce it in Italian. And since he's also a kind of a Nivea connoisseur, what they're saying is that this guy flew down from the sky to save them and their run here in the NLC. He's their savior coming in clutch to really just elevate Singularity. Now, that hasn't happened, but that's what they told me.
Okay, if I may, when I see a pigeon flying from the sky to me, I think
freedom, peace.
No, it's going to steal my bread. That's all I think about.
And it's all about getting the bread. So how about they steal the bread instead, yeah?
Steal the bread from Bifrost.
That bread.
Okay, but realistically, how can they win?
Yeah, it's tough. Like, if we're gonna take it serious for a second, right? And I don't want to be mean. I think Pichone is actually the avenue they have to try and use.
Yes.
But the issue is, Bifrost have Fury in the mid lane on the opposite side, and then they're also staring down the barrel of Diamond Prox, one of the most experienced junglers we probably still have playing in the ERLs.
Yes.
So, like, I don't know really what to say, because I feel like the only strong part of SNG that we can, positively talk about is playing against one of the, in my mind, one of the stronger, like, sort of duos that we potentially have in the mid jungle. I mean, we could maybe look towards bot, but then again, we have, who would maybe be argued as one of the best, if not the best AD in slot in the NLC, OD. So I think it's just really tough to talk about the game from SNG, because I think what they have to do is just get comfortable. And I've said this already. Simple drafts. Simple drafts that just play the game for you. Try and turtle, don't get rolled over in 25 minutes, and then just see what you can get done for yourself.
Let's take it back to how they almost won a game in spring.
Okay.
Which was when they had an on composition, team fighting composition, front to back, control mage in the mid lane. There was a go button, there's reliable backline damage, and it was simple and it was easy to execute, as Jamada was saying. Unfortunately, they threw at a Baron, but up until that point, the entire game was clean from them. They hold down on the attack points from the enemy team, and I think that's kind of what we're looking for as well. We don't need anything fancy from Singularity. We need something that makes it easy for them to play the game, and then hopefully coming in where you can out-team fight your opponents at times. So if the macro is failing at times, or if the laning phase is failing at times, maybe finding that Hail Mary team fight is actually what's going to make or break it. As we just saw from Astralis.
Let's see if the pigeon comes from the sky and brings Singularity their first victory versus Bifrost, who are standing on second place, trying to get close to JDXL. But without further ado, we'll jump into Champion Select, where both teams are already waiting. And we've seen constantly new picks coming in from Singularity.
Such as the Koff. Actually, you know what? Funnily enough, I think Koff is one of the most undeveloped picks on this patch. I feel like Koffers is maybe a bit sleeper broken. Don't know how you feel. Don't know how you feel about 12-10.
It's one of those things where I hadn't had something to properly look at it, but I think the theory behind it is for sure true.
Because at least to me, Koff still clears unbelievably quick. We're in a meta which is a lot slower. A lot of the junglers that are played currently aren't really like the sort of hard go junglers. It feels like the ones that are, always trying to get into your face. It feels like the meta is kind of slowly moving away from that sort of Viego Lee meta. Yes, we still have things like Wukong, which can, try and get into the enemy jungle if you've got priority, but yeah, anyway, moving away from it, it's only one ban. Speaking of Lulu, Renard taking off the cards like we kind of expect most of the time, and Gwen and Talia will join us, so I'm expecting probably a Lucian ban if I had to take a gun, because I feel like if you give Odie Lucian, you're almost guaranteed to lose the bottom lane matchup.
Yeah, but it's also, are they willing to first pick it, right? There's still the likes of Wukong open then. Is that a trade that you're suddenly throwing into the mix, and you're just going for the, not per se Hail Mary, but you're taking away Fury's Ahri, which was still one of his most played champions coming through from spring, right? And while the champion has been nerfed a little bit coming into this patch, it's still popular amongst a lot of mid laners.
Diego is still available for Pop or even Lilia. She has the fast clear.
Okay.
It could provide something, and there you go. It's going to be Lilia alongside with Tristana.
All right, so okay, decent take from SNG, to be honest. I feel like this jungle matchup for Wukong stinks. It is like, I'm not gonna say it's unplayable, but it gets to a point where Lilia can start to outpace you. You can have a lot more, you know, viability in some of the team fights. And just again, Wukong is kind of geared towards dealing with AD champions, right? The passive stacks up the armor. Lilia literally just deals magic and true damage, completely ignores the builds. So I think honestly, if we're seeing this Wukong go into Diamond hands, if Porp can have good pathing, then maybe we can see something come out of him in the 1v1. That was me praying that we see good pathing from Porp, because frankly, it doesn't happen too often. But when it does, and it does click, SNG do look like a much stronger team, and hopefully on the Lilia, he can try and take a little bit of agency for himself, take over the jungle matchup 1-to-1, and try and aid his lanes. Senator Kench comes in from Bifrost side. I wouldn't mind seeing, like, honestly, just Relish, go full engage, double horsey. I wouldn't mind it, to be honest with you. Something scaly as well, like Soraka into it wouldn't be too bad, or Seraphine again. But yeah, I think honestly you want hard engage or something that really hyperscales, and we'll see. The time has been ticking for a hot second on 0.
That's a lot of 0 seconds.
That was a lot of 0
Wow,
seconds.
How many times? It's still 0 seconds. What's going on here?
This is movie 0, by the way. No, I don't know what timing this is it, but okay, movies. Michael Bay champion select. So we got 3 champions for each side. We have both bot lanes and jungle. Where should we focus now?
I mean, obviously, I think it's easier to just blind pick a top laner and then probably, get a mid laner and then get a top lane ahead on the R5 there, because it's just easier to play the mid lane, right? It's a short lane and you can always get bailed out.
I have my fingers crossed that Bifrost don't ban Yone.
And
because Pisione plays it, he's not that bad at it at all.
I thought you were going to do voice lines.
I wasn't going to do voice lines. That was very funny in the green room, I know. But Lucian, AD lane, Lilia really thrives when she has AD laners. And I think in terms of comfort, in terms of, follow-up engage off the back of rel engages, Yone would fit perfectly. Right now, it seems like Bifrost might be more interested in banning away top laners. If Pisione is super confident that he can take that into Fury's champion pool, I would love to see it come out.
I'm actually quite curious to see the rel as well. When I saw the Soraka into the Tahm Kench, immediately thought, yes, this is great. This is going to work out wonders with these extended team fight. Coming in with the rel instead, for the 2v2, it's not really going to mean much. And that means like you are looking for a scaling aspect with the Tristana, because Tahm Kench will be able to disengage. There's a lot of sustain as well with the Senna down towards that bot side of the map. So you are looking for one of these team fights to come through from the side of SNG if you really want to be able to take it out. So I think, as you mentioned, like having that slam it down Yone in the mid lane might do wonders.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be too terrible. I mean, they're banning away picks for it. I think like the Long lane kind of sucks for the Yone. It's kind of hard to trade efficiently into her for a little while until you hit like sort of 2 bases, right? B Greaves and another component on top of that. Veigar, I think just kind of really does hard counter a lot of what SNG are going for right now. Having that cage down to sort of stop a lot of the engage could be really impressive. And the Misfortune ban comes out, which says to me that maybe Bifrost are expecting the Tristana in a solo lane at this point, which honestly, not a terrible read either. We have to remember that Tristana can still flex into the solo lanes, but I think they have a really comfortable bottom lane matchup as is. The rel being there to also, remove the Tahm Kench thick skin shield could also just be the reason why they want Trist in the bottom lane. I'm still expecting 2 AD solo laners at the very least, although we
look like they had a decent read on it. So the thing is, okay. So when the durability patches came through, it changed the way we play these meta. Champions that had low CDR and plays through longer damage suddenly became better. That means like champions like Six and even the champions like Seraph as well can be played as well from a mid lane perspective or an AD carry perspective as well. Leander's Anguish coming through can be quite volatile. So even now, there is still a chance we might see 6 mid, although we have seen Spike
Finally!
on the 6.
We have been asking this for so long. Trouble comes in hot as well with a hot take on that one. But finally, we get the Akali on Fury. Maybe it could be for Shikari.
It could be. I can't call how many times I have requested to see Fury back on his diving assassins like he was on SNG so many times last year, and it seems like here into Singularity, we're gonna at the very least get that. Gangplank gets locked in on the top side, so you're looking at, sort of most likely safe top side, waiting for level 6 realistically to start to get to skirmishes going with the Cyclone, with the perfect execution, and that's when SNG really have to be worried, in my opinion. Double global with the center and the gangplank is going to make skirmishing on side lanes particularly difficult as well. So honestly, I quite like what Bifrost come out with here. We've got all of the traditional stuff, and then we've kind of got Akali shoved in there, which is cool.
Yeah, it's generally a composition as well. They have to facilitate that. You got the back, or you mean you have a bot lane you can just play slow for initially, but you know, send a shield to come through as well, healing on top of that, jump in with diamond procs, have the cannon barrage just to create space around it. That really can disrupt your opponent. SNG though at the same time have a lot of champions that have a lot of movement speed in their kit, or you know, movement in general in terms of jumps or gap closes as well. So I do still think that SNG will have something to play for, but it's quite clear when you take a look at a composition like Bifrost, if this is a composition that get ahead and they just start running into you, there's not too much disengage to play around with. Most of the time you will have to sack one member unless there's a huge Lily asleep to just completely disengage it all.
Final takes before we head on to the final game of the day.
I don't care. Fury's on Akali. I'm a happy man. I can go to sleep and get a full 8 hours and be totally refreshed tomorrow, knowing that I'm going to, at the very least, get to see Fury on
Back on the Akali.
Back on the Akali.
Same?
I mean, it's not the entire same for me, but I definitely think that Bifrost has drafted himself a very exciting composition that, you know, can be quite explosive.
Final game of the day to wrap up Week 3, Day 5, and we're gonna jump into Summoner's Rift. Viperun in trouble. He has Akali, finally!
Temper your expectations. First things first.
Yes.
The explosive.
Yes.
Singularity, the ones with the explosive.
Yes.
They got Tristana and Ziggs.
Fury's on Akali.
So get that right.
Yes, in
2.
game.
Akali into Tristana. I wouldn't.
Yeah, Tristana kind of sheesh on Akali. I mean, it's an AP melee assassin. It really does suffer in lane into any AP mage, into any AD carry, and specifically for Tristana because she shoves in the wave and she has the range, she can actually bully Akali underneath her tower as well. The only time where Akali can actually free farm is when she's in the Shroud. Once the Shroud is down though, you do truly suffer in lane. After that though, you get that level 6, you call your Wukong in the mid lane, and you can actually pick Tristana off and start scaling your Akali. I'm so excited. Fury is back on Akali. We've been praying to see this for so long. This is his champion, and I hope we haven't jinxed it.
I was going to say, how disappointed would you be if he just goes like 0-1-1?
And that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I'll be disappointed actually.
It's a quiet game. But we are on the rift for the final time. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Bifrost on the blue side. We've got Singularity over on the red side. Singularity chasing their first win of the season. Bifrost trying to go 4-1. They have an excellent start to life in the NLC summer split. And goodness me, we've got, you know, Fury's on his Akali. Although, I have been reinformed,
Okay.
or memory, and we're gonna have to ask him, because I feel like I was having a small, like, breakdown on this.
Okay.
I think it's pronounced Furai.
Oh.
Because I remember one Chronicler casts back in the day when he was around
The
these...
Chronicler
the
cast?
Chronicler casts, the most handsome man in esports.
Over in the LCK?
Yeah. Well, but before he was in the LCK, he was in the UK scene.
Still as handsome as always?
Of course, more handsome, some might say.
Holy.
Yeah, I know, right? It was crazy. And he always told me...
Whatever.
He always told me that it was pronounced Furai.
Okay, fair enough.
Which
We're
means
gonna
fire
have,
egg,
We're gonna have to ask him. The sentiment's the same. He's on Akali after so long. He was saying last split in an interview, he's like, it's just not my meta, man. Like the Victors and the Orianas. It's just not me. I want my LeBlancs, I want my Aris, I want the Sylas, I want the Akali. I want to be back on this playmaking champions, even though he's Ari. Last split and the start of this split has looked stellar. Nothing compares in my eyes to his Akali, especially when he goes crazy. Now, talking about LCK.
Yes.
Obviously, Ziggs in the bot lane. This is something that the LCK came up with about a season ago. They were playing in the bot lane together with Leona. Very deadly duo. If the CC lands, then you can definitely land all of the damage on top with the Ziggs and the big bomb from the ultimate. And you can actually 100-0 somebody real quickly. So the same thing works right here with Thrall. You CC someone, and you throw a bunch of damage down. Now, the only problem is that Odeon Highway are playing Senna Kent, so the Devour is going to be there after level 6 to save your Senna from any unnecessary damage and any unnecessary CC. Now, talking about Senna Kent, a bunch of you might be familiar that have watched NLC with Bifrost Senna Kent. Now, Odeon Duel, his previous support from Spring Split, were notoriously known to be the best Senna Kents that we've had in the league by far. Like, they were absolutely
got an engage coming on through. Jeppe wants to go in onto Odie. Knocked back. It's going to be going low, but Diamond is here looking for some damage. Pop needs to be a little bit careful because he's gone a tad lower, but Diamond is in full retreat. Members of Bifrost are trying to get away, and they will be able to do so, but that looks like a successful burst play from Singularity to me.
Very, very well done right there. Spiky also with the bomb, knocking up Odie straight back to the Shark's jaws, forcing Odie to use double his summoners, taking Diamond Prox's flash as well. And Spiky and Jeppe only had to expend that ignite towards the bot lane. Very, very well played by Singularity right there. And of course, Pop coming in for the gank. Now, again, we're talking about Odie and Highway this time. And let's see if Odie and Highway can live up to the expectations that we had when Odie and Duel were playing the Senna Kents. Because these two guys in particular, they were feared. The Kent was permabanned against them. Sometimes the Senna was banned against them. They were never allowed to play the two champions together, like ever. And when they did, they absolutely stomped. So we're holding our expectations high because this is still 50% of the duo. Odie is still there, and he is on the Senna. So
It's 50% of the lane. Highway, of course, as we know, has been performing very, very well for a new player here to the NLC. And as we can see from this game, we're going to find out if he has got that level that we saw from Duel, who was an exceptional performer in the regular season, especially for this Bifrost roster, has now moved on with Highway replacing him. But I'm looking at this mid lane.
Over to the Super League, I think, like.
Some random league. No name. I don't know. Got relegated. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
I don't know if it's not LFL.
Kisses to Fnatic. See you do you must.
Who?
Fnatic.
Who?
Who?
Can't even get out of quarterfinals.
I mean, technically they could win.
Don't worry about it. For me, Singularity just having that control. We talked about this last game, the idea of Tristana freezing. Not so much. But now there is support there. Support and Jeppe just hanging around.
Okay, so actually, for a matchup that's advantageous towards the Tristana, Piccione is actually behind in CS. Because a lot of the times when you dealt with the pressure of shoving in the wave really quickly, a bunch of the CS will get messed up. Plus, if you count the damage from the passive from the Tristana, where things are getting a little bit too explosive around the mini wave, you might miss some. You also have an Akali that's in the Shroud. You need to be very careful not to get hit by the Qs and the Es and get traded on. So, yes, Tristana is really strong into Akali, but Fury is almost an entire wave up. If he hits every single minion here, he has an entire wave up in CS versus Piccione, and he did. He's 6 CS up.
That being said, though, Piccione, we don't have the most information on this player. Very, very hyped up by a lot of people saying we might have that much data, but this guy looks exceptionally good as Jeppe going for another engage. Highway's gone in, though, looking to defend his marksman. Only needs to be very careful, but here's Diamond Prox. Jeppe goes low, will be taken out by Odie, securing that one, and Spike is going to be chased back further as well, throwing another bomb to try and catch the center. Won't be able to do so. That's Diamond Prox securing the kill. Pop tries to dive away, but Fury is on the back line, diving on through, gets the kill himself, and dashes to safety.
Yeah. Dashes in, grabs the kill, dashes out. A little bit disastrous, but there for Singularity. Bifrost were really ready to pull the trigger. They have a level 7 Gangplank onto Shikari. Shikari drops the counter barrage right there, slows everyone down, adds a little bit of damage. Fury also gets the chance to roam from mid lane, which I really want to see what happened there, actually. And the fact that Fury is allowed to roam from mid when against Tristana and not lose any CS is a little bit questionable, so I'd like to see what is happening. But again, I think Singularity tried to pull their repeat gank in the bot lane, and it was kind of a disaster. But you have to try because Odi did not have flash up and available for him. So does the snow cap land same as last time? Unfortunately, it didn't. So again, we'll see it right here. Jeppe is going to try to get the CC down. Misses actually because Odi steps forward, gets the CC after, but the knockup pushes Odi further away towards the tower. And once the cannon barrage drops as well, it's just very difficult for Singularity to move themselves back towards the tower. And even when they do end up reaching their tower, Fury's there waiting with his arms open.
I just think Singularity were a little bit too jumpy. They were engaging when the rail was still slowed, which maybe limited them just a little bit. But they are now moving up towards this top side, want to get onto this. Rift Herald have taken themselves the Rift Scuttle.
Mind you, Jeppe still level 4 on that rail, level 6 for Highway. Chomp is available to save whichever one of his carries needs to be saved, but he's all the way down the bottom of the map.
In though, Fury's on the side. Here comes the bomb. It will land on Shikari. Dimebrock's pull up in the pit, needs to be a little bit careful, but they've already managed to take the first kill of the fight as the rail goes down. Odi giving the shield, giving the damage, and helping his team out. Fury dives forward for a double and is looking towards the Sun. He's tanky, but he's not got that much health to play with as Odi on the side assists with another. There goes more. Spike running for the hills. It's going to be taken low and may well go down. They're saved from the ace by the quick respawn of Jeppe, but Bifrost run rampant.
Bifrost team fights, name a more iconic duo right there. Highway was not even needed. He's the guy that should be saving his team from any trouble because he has the Devour up and available. But again, level 6 across the board, level 4 for Jeppe. I think this is what actually broke Singularity right here. The fact that you don't have this big potent ultimate to try and engage into 3 members that were stuck up right there for Bifrost. And the second they see that Jeppe is level 4, jumps off the horse. He's a lot more slow. Fury jumps in, kills one. Then Pichone is stuck on the side. Tatui tries to jump in to kill Diamond Procs, so maybe they can have a chance to take the Rift Herald. The Rift Herald resets. Pop is now caught on the bot side of the map, and yeah, Tatui tries to zone Fury away, but once Diamond Procs jumps through the pit, it's just very easy to spin the remaining members of Singularity down that are scattered trying to run away. And again, that was a 4 versus 5 that was won right there from Bifrost. 8-0 currently, 4,000 gold in the lead, only 9 minutes in.
And I mean, something that was very perfectly displayed there are how strong the changes to that W on Wukong made. Because Diamond Procs was jumping in, out, shake it all about, managed to do so much work and survive against not only San, but San's passive and a bunch of other champions. Diamond Procs is now moving himself down towards his bot side, has got the Rift Herald in pocket, so could consider that one, but it looks like he's just going to start up the Dragon instead. Just going to be smited away, and no nonsense from Bifrost there.
So, right now that we're getting a second to breathe, I'm going to ask Twitch chat. So far, we've picked up 4 drafts from Twitter as Fury casually gets solo ball mid. Happens, yeah. So, I want to ask Twitch chat if they believe Tempt has appeared in 4 out of 4 drafts so far, done by Twitter. Is Tempt gonna appear on the 5th one as well? Type right now in Twitch chat if you believe Tempt is gonna be in this draft as well. Type yes. If you believe Tempt is not part of this one, type no.
I'm gonna type no.
I'm gonna send you cookie.
I think no.
Okay.
I think because we've been through enough of the day, we're now late in the day, and I think people might be tempered by the performance that Tempt put in today.
Nice.
Tempted.
You're playing with words. Okay, we've given you enough time, Twitch chat. I'm gonna pop up the draft. It's not. Wait.
Okay. First things first.
No.
You haven't listened to the rules, right? Because you're allowed 1 champ player per team. Singularity Esports. You've chosen your roster. Second, I would personally argue and go with me on this journey.
It's rigged.
That you haven't necessarily chosen based on performances so far this season. That being said, Shikari's going to be called out. He's going to be able to cleanse away, but there's a lot of CC coming through. Diamond Procs is diving on forward. That's a huge knockup from Diamond Procs, and he takes down 2. Shikari shouldn't be alive, but Diamond Procs is like, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Oh, the shield coming from down under from Odi to save Shikari at the very end. Also, beautiful stuff right there from the cleanse,
the wrong side of the
from
tower.
the Mango.
Like,
One
no.
repeat is going to take down Spiky as well, and I think Singularity are falling apart all over the map. This is a Sri Lankan.
Bifrost are pretty good at League of Legends. Let's just
Singularity are not good at playing games, though, on Twitter. They're terrible.
Yeah, you guys
not
go back to the
here.
drawing board.
You're
I
not
see what
here.
you
You're
did,
players.
but like an attempt was made, but you
I feel
failed.
like we fooled Twitch chat as well. That tried to
Yeah,
play
but
along.
I was right because I did say no. And he
Oh.
wasn't on the thing. So, I mean, importantly, Singularity, more than anything, you did prove me correct. So, you get some points for that, but it is less points
Yes,
than
whoever
everyone who
said not
played the
gets
game correctly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
also, like, Warp over Creox, come on. Come on. At least I'm
That was your only problem in that.
Yeah, pretty much. But let's have a look at what happened here, because we jumped to it when Odin Highway were just not in the right place under their tower.
Beautiful flash right there for Highway to chain together the CC with the knock-up and the root landing from Odi. And again, we said Odi and Duel from last split were the best by far Senatam Kens we've had in the NLC, if not ERLs. I don't want to exaggerate, but I want to exaggerate. That's how good these two guys were. Odi and Highway, pretty freaking good too. What happened to Jeppe?
Jeppe, but
What happened? Where is he?
if we can get a replay of that, because I'm very confused.
Where is
So
he?
I don't think there was a play happening there.
But where is he?
Well, he's dead.
Oh, he's top. Wait.
Production, can we get a replay on that? Because I am confusion right now.
Hold on. Pitzion is really low HP. Shikari hasn't even used his ult. He used his flash though, but he didn't touch Jeppe. Because that was an execute. I don't know if I'm more upset on the fact that that was a bot's dive or the fact that Shikari didn't even hit Jeppe once.
I mean, we'll let bygones be bygones. We'll just put that one down to... He didn't die to Shikari,
It
so
was a
there's credit
whoopsie.
to be made. But, right, Singularity, right? You are Singularity's new assistant coach.
Me?
You're not taking Soft Orange's job, you're the assistant coach.
Right.
What, you're looking at this game in this state, what's your plan? What's the idea to get Singularity back into this game?
Well,
after
thank
we
you
see
very
this?
much for the replay. So Jeppe and Pitzion right here are trying to pull a dive onto Shikari. Thank you, observers, for saving me from having to answer that question. Oh, okay, so Shikari flash.
What?
What?
Shikari autoed him.
Almost. So that was a really good evade right there. And I also think Fury's ultimate got cancelled possibly by Spiky. Because he was mid lane.
Yeah.
He sattled him. So Shikari tried his hardest to take credit for that heal that the tower pretty much created
Fury
for
might be
him.
in a little bit of trouble here, but Diamond Prox is hanging around in the wings. I don't know if he's been spotted out, but I think those two could be in a spot of bother as Jeppe gets off his horse. And Diamond Prox will find him out, get some damage down, but it's 2v1. Goes for the ultimate, actually. He's going to be very, very aggressive as he pops it again onto Jeppe. Odi's moving through as well. That's the first kill as Piccioni will be able to jump away. Highway in the wings won't be called upon. That's another for Bifrost.
Wow. So 13-0. Bifrost are going pretty much for the perfect game right here when it comes to kills. Whoever one dies first for Bifrost, we publicly shame them. No, we don't. I'm kidding. This is a joke, very clearly. But Bifrost, especially since they're chasing for that first place, right? They're one win away from Excel that's sitting 5-0 at the top of the standings. For them, it is 3-1 right now. They need that win to get that much closer to them. A win would give them a 4-1 on the standings as Fury is trying to...
The good news is that Porp took the
Man,
dragon.
Fury, I've missed you on Akali, man. Welcome back.
The actual perfect game was denied by Porp, who grabbed his team a dragon and an objective bounty. The bad news is Tatu is dead.
What?
I mean, for Shikari, yeah. But,
Oh, dragon.
yeah, it's Infernal Dragon Soul. I don't know if we'll get there.
Okay, I'm gonna be very honest with you. You asked me previously, I don't see a lot of ways that this game can turn back. But Tattoo right there, oh, gets caught trying to push the wave and then gets caught under the tower, gets slowed by the barrel, and Shikari. Yeah, literally having a camp in front of us. I just
Legitimately,
wish-
this is better. This is outside of the game right now, but our analysts have just walked into the studio.
I just wish that somebody could take a camera right now, turn it around, and show what they're doing.
It's
It's
just-
like a campfire, and they're just sitting around.
No, it's like, you know, at school when you've got like, you're in like year 4 and it's movie day, so they get like the science
It's
movie.
like- yeah, it's
They walked
like-
in, they're just sitting cross-legged on the floor in front of us, just watching on one of the monitors in here.
It's our live crowd. Can we get some reactions as well, please?
Oh my word, that's brilliant. Diamond Prox has got the Rift Herald in pocket, so we'll have the opportunity to break down some towers.
I wonder,
Okay.
is this going to be... Okay, this time I'm not scamming you, Twitch chat. Is this going to be a dancing Rift Herald at the Nexus? Yes or no,
No.
in Twitch chat right now? You're not in Twitch chat, Vibe. Stop.
I'm 1-on-1. As Porp is going to get taking some damage there from Senna. Going to be flashing forward for Highway. That's the first kill of the fight as Shikari secures it. Tadu will be able to help disengage to get the knock up onto the Akali as the tower still stands.
Shikari's not even there. He's like, yoink.
No, he's just... Yeah.
My kill now. Thanks, guys. Oh, no, the stream mem. You're going to ruin
Get
the
out of
perfect
there,
game.
Shikari. Singularity going for the kill, but the teleport's coming on through. And there's another teleport coming on through the center ultimate as well. Singularity tried to collapse, but Highway dissuades them well enough. And you can see on the side, the Akali teleport was actually cancelled, so Fury couldn't get there. I believe Spike will have used the satchel charge to secure that one.
I'm clairvoyant, but look on the top side of the map. It's Diamond Prox and
No.
Audi with Rift Herald, and no one's going to stop them. I'm just saying, this particular Rift Herald might be taking you on the dance floor.
I don't know, because the second charge is going to take it fairly low. There's still 2 Nexus towers, and it will be targeted, but we're going to move to the fight down bot lane as Fury moves forward. Looking for Pigioni, will be able to land the Shuriken and diving on forward. Dances away, but will be caught up by Jeppe. The bomb comes through. It's a shutdown from the Ziggs. Diamond Prox chased away. The Rift Herald goes down, so no dance today. Singularity on the board, ladies and gentlemen.
Bifrost ruined the entire game. No perfect game. No dancing Shelly. I feel betrayed.
Fury's bad at Akali, you know.
I feel betrayed. Fury. I feel betrayed.
You know, I mean,
I did my hair flip as well. No one saw.
it's tricky because Singularity right now, they are in a huge deficit. It's going to be a massive struggle for them to find their way back into this game. Picks like that are the bare minimum they need to start doing. I know that when you look at a League of Legends game like this, and we were talking about it on Desk with the start of the X7 game as well, where it's kind of a your scrim goes next kind of angle is
Well,
what
your
it's
best
felt.
off, yeah.
But I'm just looking over the Singularity roster. They have the ability to take down towers. If they can get onto a side lane and grab a couple of objectives.
Okay, so technically, let's say the way you could potentially come back is this top side of the map is gonna perma-shove into you. It's prior 20 minutes, gonna perma-shove into you. You can farm this the whole time inside your base, very carefully. And then if Bifrost overextend to take a tower, then you have a bunch of wave clear. You've got the Tristana there, you've got the Ziggs, and then if they overextend and try to dive you, maybe you can pull in a play with the Rel and Corpse Lilia. But honestly, at this point, because of the item deficit that they're in, because of the gold deficit that they're in, it's just a little bit difficult to pick more than one person. And yes, right there, Fury overextended. He went for the faker play and it didn't work. So they shut him down. And I think Bifrost are like, okay, guys, let's maybe chill out because we're 10k gold ahead. Let's not pull an Excel and keep this 10k gold in front of the 20 minutes, you know, because we can't finish the game, and just finish this proper.
Yeah, let's turn it on its head, I guess. The question being, let's move it across the Bifrost. Obviously playing exceptionally well. Oh, we see Tadu actually going for the engage potentially as Highway dances forward. He's trying to get the Abyss Voyage out, and Odie is there. You can see Fury diving onto the backline, looking towards the Tristana, but can't get the final auto required to grab the kill. Odie's going to flash forward towards Jeppe. One more auto, but again, Jeppe survives, flashing away, but catches Tristana on the side. Diamond Prox diving forward, Shikari with another steal, and Tadu goes out in the middle of the Bifrost roster. He's running for the hills in corpse form, and I think this one may be done. Bifrost moving in towards the solitary Nexus tower, standing in the Singularity base. It's going to be Diamond Prox looking for the re-engage. Damage coming through. Spike's dead. So is his mid laner, Piccioni, the last victim of the Bifrost rampage as they secure themselves their 4th win of the season.
Very clean, very calculated. When we see teams at the very top of the standings playing versus teams at the very bottom of the standings, that's what we expect. We expect a very clean game where the bottom tier team unfortunately gets outclassed. And I think Bifrost are here completely, whoa, hello, good morning, completely outclassed Singularity, and it showed, right? Welcome back onto the Akali Fury. I'm so excited. Also, you inted the perfect game, but it's fine. You're on Akali. You get to enjoy the game. Over to you guys.
So much trouble. There you go. I'm back. We were watching the game at the studio, seeing Bifrost take down Singularity. It was not close. It's really hard to tackle this game. It started with a really good early game for Singularity.
Yes, they could,
I need
but
you to turn your microphone on before you speak, so Goldberg, it's on you.
yes, okay. Basically, yes, they had the right idea in the early game where you get actually good pathing from Pop in the early game. 350, he's full cleared. He's down towards the bot side. He's ready to be there for the counter gank, and they get the flash every summoner spell from Odie on the center. But no one flashes after him to secure the kill. They just let him leave. So essentially, they get the push in. But getting the center out in that instance is like getting the enemy support out. Because Highway is the one farming. And Highway had the most farm in the game as well when it was like in the early game 8-minute mark. Out-farming his opponent, out-farming his teammates. And you just didn't get anything out of that. And it just felt like they had the right opportunity to finally get a lead and try and run away with something, but failed to execute on it.
You wanted to talk, now I'm giving you the chance.
Yeah, I think after that early gank, it was just kind of not feeling good for SNG. Kind of across the board, it just started to fall apart. I think this is just one of those classic situations where we're looking at, you know, a top end of the table team playing against a team that is just simply expected to end up in the bottom two. So, yeah, I think, unfortunately, not too many positives to talk about from SNG's point of view, except Porp. You had a really good Lilia clear.
First clear.
I'm not going to lie, that is genuinely really impressive. Some Lilia players are absolutely god-awful at making first Lilia clear look speedy.
With Solar Raptor start.
With a Solar Raptor start as well.
3:16, by the way, that was the timer for the full clear. That is a really good timer for Pop. But then, First Blood is spoiled on the bot lane as well, but on the side of Bifrost. And that to me is like the slap to take away any sort of mental state that Singularity still had. Then they run away with the game. Is that anything?
I feel like it could go like that all the time. There's Jeppe getting executed in the top side as well. It always it goes from bad to worse continuously. And I think in the end, that is how it's going to look when you have a bottom team playing against the top tier team that we have in the league. Like, this skill difference is just that big. And it is like that in a lot of ERLs as well. Yeah. This is just a common side as well. And I won't even sit here and be like, you know what, Singularity, this is a great experience. They're going to get a lot of takeaways because it's going to take more from them than that, right? And even if they do have the right takeaways, it's not going to be against Bifrost or JDXL they're going to get these victories. It's going to be against the likes of Eminem, maybe Astralis Talent as well, that they're going to look more competitive. So that's what we're really looking forward to for SNG, to kind of wait for the right moments for them.
For Bifrost, a team that almost secured the perfect game, I have with me on the interview, Shikari, the return of the king. I got you once, I got you twice, finally. Okay, before we start the interview, I have a question for you. A lot of people were telling me that you were going to ditch me on the interview. You would skip it.
A lot, it was him.
Yeah.
Okay.
What will you say to the haters, man? You're here.
I mean, I'm a kind of shy person, but I like doing interviews with you. I like I don't know. I've never ditched you an interview.
Oh man, see, I love Shikari. I love Shikari. So welcome back. Obviously, this was a really rough game for Singularity, but you guys were cruising. We got your GP, we got Akali's for Fury as well. Was the champion select picked specifically because you guys felt sure that you were going to take this game, and we got to see those specific champions?
Honestly, if the draft didn't go exactly as planned, the first part of the draft was like we got everything we wanted, and in the second part, we just Fury just saw a really good Akali angle and he just like picked me Akali, and he did really well on it, and also GP was open as well, and then he was just really good. So yeah.
And that transitions to something that I've been noticing for Bifrost. Obviously, you guys lost versus Noriki, the only defeat you got so far in the split. But it seems that the confidence is rising up. You get two new players, you get Highway, you get Diamond Procs. Can you run me through the process of getting these two players with the team, and how's the spiritual like in the team? How are you guys doing together?
I'd say it's going very well. I think the coaching staff did a good job in regards they were looking for like very specific players on like each role. So in jungle, they were looking for someone who will control, like dictate the game. And I don't know if there's like a more perfect player than like Diamond Prox for that, especially in the early game. And in support, we tried out quite a few, and Highway just we just really liked him, and he just fit, he just clicked.
A lot of people talk about Diamond Prox as someone that always is talking, giving feedback to the team, setting up like an in-game leader, I would have to say on this matter. Can you tell me that if he's more vocal nowadays, do you guys like the calls that he's making? Is he adapting to the NLC? How is the team adapting to him and him with you guys in terms of shot calling? Because I know he's not the only one talking as well.
I think he's very. It's like he will communicate like, very well, and he will like make suggestions, but he's very adaptive. So if the laners like give like good information, he will just completely change his plan if like there's really good information is given. So like, I would say he's the one who's dictating the game, but he's really open to like put on the laners to give like good information, I'd say.
Okay, final question for you because I need to wrap it up, but I really need to ask you this one. This split, I do believe the top lane, not only the jungle part, but also the top lane is getting stacked. You got Chasey, you got a lot of new people coming in, Kerberos coming back as well. How do you rate yourself versus all these amazing top laners? Because you're on the top of the scoreboard. Everybody's looking at Shikari like, it's Shikari. How do you rate yourself?
Honestly, I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I think I could be. Like I have the like potential to like be the best, but I think like you said, like top lane is really stacked. I just really had to judge because I've not played against Chasey yet, and I've not played against Cries. And I think like the first two names you would think of, like who's the best? Like it's probably Cries or Chasey, like I would imagine. And I've not played against them yet, so I don't know for sure. But I'm confident. But I think top lane is very stacked, like you said.
Yeah, you're on the top of the leaderboard for top laners, but you still need to see that matchup versus Chasey. That is one matchup that I really want to see, and good luck for that one. Thank you so much for the interview. It's always a pleasure to get you on the interview, and good luck through the rest of the games.
It's a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Got Shikari. I got Shikari. It's like a prize to me, you know? It's like, I got Shikari, I got Shikari.
No, but Yamada was very adamant that
No,
Shikari was going to dodge it, and they were fighting each other.
I just can't recall the last time I saw Shikari on an NLC interview. That's all. I feel like whenever we have Bifrost, typically we either get Fury. Last season, I feel like we would occasionally get Seaboy as well.
Got Duel as well.
And then a lot of Duel.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the shtick.
We did get Shikari once in the previous season, and if you're telling me that you don't recall it, you don't watch the show.
That might have happened.
Bro.
Bro. Okay.
I'm not going to deny it.
On the other side, though, we have to talk about Singularity. Bifrost are looking mean as well. They're looking to take down X7. They really want to fight that one. I do believe we have a lot of target duels throughout the entire Rift. It's going to be lovely to watch that as well. But I want to talk about Singularity because this is no longer an issue only inside of the Rift. We have to look into the bigger picture on Singularity. How can a team come back from this position where they are? How can a team start working?
Well, first of all, you got nothing to lose. Trying out anything is always a possibility. If your mindset is bad because you keep getting these losses, well, does it really matter? Is there anyone else expecting anything different? I generally don't think so, right? Like, you are the only one with the power to really just, no one believes in you, so you gotta believe in yourself pretty much. And while that's not enough to suddenly make you win against better teams, it's the kind of, at least mindset you need to have when you're sitting at rock bottom and there's only one way to get out, and that's crawling out yourself.
Yeah, I think put simply, it has to start with a little bit of hope in yourself.
Yeah.
And like Goldborg says, you have to, at the very least, go into it believing you can.
Like Varus says, beware of a man who has nothing to lose. Maybe we will get that one. Maybe you need to try that voice from Varus. I don't know. Together with us on the interview to wrap it up today, it's Jeppe coming in from Singularity. We are back. I missed you, buddy, man. I missed you, buddy. Obviously, it is a rough start for you on this split. But the early game coming in from Singularity, like you guys did really, really well. Was this something prepared from you guys? Did you set up an early game versus Bifrost? Can you run me by it?
Well, technically, it was not a planned thing, but after we got in game, the whole like little one strat where we ran top and all got seen, that's the bait. We're like playing 4D chess while all the other teams are playing 1D chess. The unlucky thing is though that my carries forgets to flash when we kill Senna and get that goal to snowball, and then the whole like chess board just falls over and doesn't really work. So
That is my big question, because no one flashed. Senna was at 1 HP. No, she was at single digits. Nobody flashed for that kill. How was the mental after losing that potential kill?
I'm not gonna lie, in the moment I thought that my carries would have flashed and that it's just we didn't have enough damage. So I think all of us was like, and I think default of that as well. I even think default that they flashed. So like the mental at that moment was like, yeah, each a game. We just do it again and we win the game. But then like 1 minute later, I realized we all have flash, and I'm like, wait, is it already been 5 minutes? So after that, it of like 3 or 4 minutes after that happened, it started to go down, as you can see in the game as well.
If you don't mind, I have to go deeper, okay, Jeppe? You know I love you, bro. You know I love you. I need to understand, does Singularity still believe in Singularity?
That's a tough question. I
I know, I'm so sorry, but I have to do this.
I definitely think that it will be better from now on. I think that we have some things that we're gonna do Wednesday that's gonna look a little bit stronger, and then next week we are gonna look like we're gonna look strong again, because like we have some changes in scrims that we are like not fully into yet, but we are experimenting with it. So we don't want to pull it off like today or Wednesday, but we probably should do Wednesday, since today didn't really look strong. But like next week, we agreed that we're gonna do these changes. That's like that's gonna be good for the team's mental, and yeah, basically, we're not gonna let our coach draft anymore.
I'm happy with that. Do you want to take it? Because
I mean, I was going to take it an entirely different approach, so just keep it at this.
Okay, because this is going to be my last take on the interview. Yep. Okay, you guys are playing professionally, you guys are playing on NLC, and so far throughout Spring Split to Summer Split, there have been a lot of windows where you guys could have taken the game. You know that. You have shined, Pop has shined, every single one individual of Singularity has had an opportunity to shine. The only problem is you guys are not shining together, and it seems to me that you guys don't believe in yourselves anymore. But you guys just need to believe in each other and see where it goes. And you telling me that you have something to work upon, that is great news for Singularity. And the ways you guys are talking, because when I had an interview with Pop, when I talked with you guys, everybody said, at least we're losing as friends, at least we're losing with Singularity. If it was not Singularity, this composition, we wouldn't be able to do it. You just need to take it to the next step and believe in yourselves and start winning, because this early game versus a team like Bifrost, out of nowhere, there's not a lot of teams that would be able to do that. So I'm really happy that you guys found some sort of staircase to go somewhere, and I hope it's somewhere good and brings you guys happiness. I'm not ending this interview with a question. I'm just ending it with I have hope in you and every single one. Thank you so much, Jeppe. Have a nice one. It is rough. It is rough it is a dream, and you fight for that dream. But everybody's fighting for the same dream. Not everybody will be able to achieve that dream.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it comes with the burden of competing competitively in anything you do. There will always be the people that are losing, but they're losing hard, and that is just how sports goes. And sometimes when you're at the bottom, you have to just continue to, at the very least, work hard, believe in yourself, like you were saying, to Jeppe. And hopefully for the SNG boys, underneath, I do make a lot of jokes about SNG. It's just the nature of how things are. But at the end of the day, these guys are still players on the Rift with feelings. They are people, crucially. And hopefully for them, this split can, at the very least, be a learning process for them, regardless of what's going on behind the scenes or on the Rift.
That was emotional. That was a lot, and I just don't think I have anything to top it off with.
There are a lot of teams from Division 2 that are hungry to go into Division 1. They're looking into Singularity like, oh, this is the deer of the herd that we need to attack once we get into relegations. But we've seen this team shine individually, and if they get together and play as a team, who knows what's going to happen. And
They still haven't played M&M.
That's a great point.
let's look into the standings to move on with the end of the day. JDXL are still undefeated at the top of it. Bifrost following it, and Astralis alongside with Dusty Riddle are really close.
This is just so balanced. It's like top 5-0, bottom 0-5. Next one 4-1, 1-4. I mean,
it's perfectly
beautiful.
symmetrical.
It's all
That
things
is
should be.
wonderful. Yeah. As Thanos would be giving us the thumbs up right now, I believe.
I don't know if I'm proud or scared, but yeah.
Yeah, me too. I mean, realistically, I think the only thing that continues to remain a surprise is X7 remaining so low in the standings, not really picking up today. But again, I think that just came down to Riddle just having such a great read on the game and their draft. It was just a super impressive performance. So, I mean, I hope for X7's sake that we don't see more of these games, right? X7 as a roster, as the sort of organization that they've built themselves up to be, we have very high expectations of them. So if they don't meet these expectations, sometimes it's going to feel a lot worse than it is in the moment. But I still believe that at the very least, we'll see them at the top of the table towards the end of the split, like we expect them to be with your Bifrosts, with your JDXLs, and hey, hopefully even maybe a Strong Salmon will show up this split.
But enough with today. I want to see what's going to happen on Wednesday on the next show for NLC. We're going to start up with Vanir versus Riddle Esports, M&M Gaming versus Nuriki, followed up by JDXL versus Bifrost. The top two teams fighting each other. X7 going on versus Astralis Talent. And the prediction, okay, Team Singularity versus Dusty.
I like this man's setup because there's no way Astralis that Jamada knew the schedule coming up here. So the fact Astralis goes against X7, that's just perfect. That's absolutely brilliant. And I think, you know, once again, X7 on the right side of, you know, they've had a rough time. Astralis at the same time, it has a decently rough time as well.
It's just not been consistent, right? I feel like that's the key word that we're going to consistently throw around. The word of litany, I suppose, is the word of litany.
Litany.
Yeah, do you know what litany is?
You know what litany means?
I'm not
If you're asking Archer, I don't think Archer's going to. It's repetition.
Wow.
It's repetition. Well, Archer.
Well, I'm going to... Oh, no. Do we have play of the day?
We still have stuff to do, Archer. I know.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
sorry.
about to end up the show after that one. Just what? Okay, thank you so much. Let's head on into the play of the day. It is not Jamada hitting me. It's NLC play of the day presented by MasterCard.
Yeah, it was Kerberos on the bottom side, getting the solo kill and then effectively just kind of continuing to mount all this pressure. And I know this one seems like a bit of an odd play of the day compared to what we typically see. But the reason why, to me, this is the play of the day is simply because Kerberos was so unbothered throughout the entirety of this game that I felt like that just kind of encapsulated his entire performance today. On the side lane, chilling, getting solo kills.
If you just speed it up, then Cyan will TP in, he'll get the turret, and like he'll just open up so much more. So there's definitely more to it as well. And I think we've had a day where some of the games have been incredibly slow, and it's taking some time for the final nail to be put in the coffin. But we've also had games like we just saw with, of course, with Bifrost and Singularity, that's just so clear-cut run through. But we're not really getting these huge direct plays coming in. It feels like it's these small movement, either through rotations that we see in a game like this with Kerberos, or just like that final fight faltering, like we saw against M&M and Astralis Talent too. So very diverse in terms of the plays and games we're getting.
What is your wrap-up for the day? Don't hit me, though.
Wow, do you think I would again?
Again? Oh,
Like
so
back to back like that?
You admit. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't. It wasn't as harshly. I mean,
no.
yeah. I think the biggest takeaway, at least for me today, was Riddle's dismantling of X7. I know I might sound like a bit of a broken record, but that was genuinely.
You sound lit.
I don't think you can put it in a sentence like that. But that.
Again? What is up with this man?
Yeah, I just think it was super impressive, and I think they're going to continue to be, as Riddle somehow always end up being, the dark horse of the league.
Okay, interesting.
Pretentious bastard.
It almost seems like they're suffering from pneumo-ultramicroscopic volcanicosilicoconiosis. Oh, you don't know that word, do you, Jamada?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear what
Pay
you said.
attention to NLC, though, next time. Thank you so much from everyone back at home watching the show. We love you very much. And NLC, we'll see you again on Wednesday. See you soon, guys.